Alrighty, I brought myself Mikey V. Oh wow, we're not talking draft stuff. We're actually talking things. Yes, because the other day we were starting to get into a bicker. We were starting to trade slight jabs at one another in a group text where it wasn't a group text anymore. It was just really just me and Mikey texting each other in a group chat. But
Let's also be honest about that group text. The other person in that group text rarely does say anything. I'm not going to call him out by name, but he could have chimed in and said something, said nothing.
Said nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yes.
So a large part of this, not a large part, the beginning, we're going to talk Anthony Davis and what his trade value should be, because I think it is a lot lower than what people think. And I think you're going to get, chips on what you think you're really going to get. You're on the other way. I laid out a few trades.
Not necessarily, but yeah.
Okay.
I at least have some ideas. Yeah.
So with that being said, and we're going to talk about some other guys who could potentially be trade candidates. I have like a little HTML opened up. That's going to be the end of it. We'll just talk about who realistic. I just feel like also the market's just not going to be that robust this year, or maybe it will be, but it's a weird year where like the people who are available for trade aren't people that I would trade for, and free agency is a crapshoot. It's just I just think it's a lot more marginal trades, and stuff that would happen in free agency. I don't know if you agree with that.
Probably. Yeah. And free agency, what I was focused on also with this deal is I think if you can get to the point where you can play into free agency, I think that's a really good idea for this team.
And that's kind of what some of the deals, what I was going to do. Yeah. So, okay. First off, the Anthony Davis saga, they have to trade him. I think we're both in agreement.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's gone. Yeah.
Now I
don't think he ever comes back and plays for them again. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, maybe he does play a game or two or a couple of games before getting traded to rebuild his value, maybe to show that he's healthy.
I don't know about. I think people know what Anthony Davis brings to the table, even with whatever issues he may have. Calf, the not being in the to start the season, all that stuff. This is a guy who, if you take out the game where he got hurt, was averaging 25 and 10, which he does on a normal basis over his career.
Yeah. So with that being said, okay. So we talked about something, and you brought up a good point that John told you, John Ross, right? I assume.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah. I just was looking for what they were thinking, and they did not mention any trades, but brought up the really good point of you need the GM to be there before you make this trade. Like it can't be the Finley, Riccardi cohort. It needs to be one or the other, like whoever is in charge or the new person.
I agree with that. And so when I did my video talking about who you could replace and all that, Masai Ujiri, from my understanding from talking with people in Toronto media and just backdoor, it seems like the former owner of the Toronto Raptors is going to be a part of the ownership group that will make the strongest bid for the Seattle Sonics. And the alleged thing is Ujiri will be the president. This is just rumored that he's just going to sit out, wait till that comes to fruition, and he will be the inaugural president of the Sonics. And that's kind of what he wants at this point, where he has unquestioned power, because if you understand the problems in Toronto, there was a lot of power struggle between what Ujiri wanted to do at times and what the ownership wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, he does not want to go anywhere where he wants to be able to just give ownership the finger and be like, this is my team. I'm the president. You just write the checks. Okay. And my understanding is he has a good relationship with the former owner, and that owner is going to be part of the ownership group that's going to allegedly get the Seattle. So I personally don't think Ujiri is going to go to Texas, especially with a front office or an ownership group in the Dumont, Adelson, that they clearly want to have their hands in the glue or their feet in the mud, to say. So I think they want a whipping boy, and I don't want to be rude. Matt Riccardi, he's from the area where one of my former roommates is from in college, Plano, local guy, came back. They brought him to the team. I it's blanking what organization he was working with. Well respected. And Michael Finley, I personally think the way that it's gonna go is, I think they would maybe put Finley as the GM and Riccardi as the president. So Riccardi reports to Dumont. Finley, being a well-respected former player and having been an executive already for I think 20 years, has connections around. It's kind of like the Joe Biden effect when Barack Obama became president. They had Biden do all the international relations, go meet the foreign diplomats, meet the presidents of other countries, because he had done that for so long that people already knew his face and knew what he brought to the table. So I think that's
kind of, he'd be vice president basically, which is what Joe Biden was.
Yeah, but the way that it's structured in an NBA front office is that the executive vice president, or sometimes the president of basketball operations, the head of is number one behind the governor, and then the number two or the third in command is the GM. And
well, for Toronto it was Masai and Bobby Webster.
Yeah, in this case it would go Riccardi, Michael Finley, yeah, and because it used to be Michael Finley and these two and Riccardi same level, and now I think
it is right now, yeah,
and they both basically are co-GM. And I think right now what they want to do is, I think they're going to try to mirror in a shitty way what Atlanta did, which I think Atlanta did a really good job of. No offense to Landry Fields, just shit got real in Atlanta. They had a better team, quit more quickly than they probably were expecting, and they realized they needed a guy who was going to be able to take them to the next step and also understand the negotiations of contracts that they were going to have to go through with Trae Young. And Ansi Saleh was someone they trusted more than Landry Fields, and as a result they made the hierarchy switch where Landry Fields was pushed out, they pushed Salah to the top, then have now I forget who they put in the middle, and then they left as assistant GM they brought in the guy from the Pelicans and a guy from the Pistons. I'm blanking on both of the names. One's Peter Dinwiddie and the other one is Bryson Graham from the Pelicans and Peter Dinwiddie from the Pistons to be the GMs. And then they left Kyle Korver as the assistant GM. So kind of some sort of reshuffling like that, where they have Mike Riccardi run the day-to-day, be kind of like the business guy, and then Michael Finley be the front-facing, talking, the guy who knows people in the NBA circles.
Okay.
My argument for that is going back off to what you were saying, like the structure.
Yeah. No, okay. All good. If that's the case, so you don't think Cuban or the Dennis Lindsay rumors are true at all, or
I don't think Dumont. I don't think Dumont wants to lose control. I don't think you want to. It's all a control thing. I think it's all a control egos battle. You want to have.
Okay. How with Patrick, because everybody said this was Nico Harrison's decision to make that Luka trade, and I thought it could be from the Adelson Dumont group not wanting Luka, or maybe even Nico souring them on Luka, or I think
it's all of them.
Supermax. But yeah, Mark Cuban was very involved in basketball operations, and I'm not sure if Patrick Dumont is a basketball guy. I think they're casino people, and paying the Republican Party insane amounts of cash people. But yeah, I just I get wanting to maybe have his control over it or anything like that, but at the same time, I'm guessing they do want to make it somewhat of a successful basketball organization as well. Which I think it seems like Riccardi and Michael Finley both have good reputations, but yeah, it's just I've just heard those floated around as well. And yeah, I think it's probably going to be Riccardi also. But yeah, you need that, and you need whoever the next person is in place. That I think is the big thing with this trade, and I think that's a good thing to add. But let's also just look at possible trade destinations, because this thing's going to happen.
Yeah, and one of the things that I find interesting is I want to see. Can I? No, I don't want. I wish you were. I could put you in the background, but we'll just leave ourselves right here. But what I was going to say is, I'm interested when we look at this pull. These are a bunch of the tradable contracts that I put up here. Giannis isn't going to get traded. I don't think Lowry or Trae Young are going to get traded. But what I wanted to show right here was when we pull up on Hoopside.
Can we also like say that Anthony Davis probably doesn't want to go to Charlotte? Like that's the big thing. Like I think they're going to be like at least conscious of a place where Anthony Davis wants to go play basketball.
Yes, and let me pull up the trades that I mentioned to Mikey the other day. So my argument is this team needs a ball handler. I think it's going to hinder. Cooper Flagg is not Giannis Antetokounmpo, and
we both agree on that. Yeah, like I think playing Cooper, he's not Jeremy Sohan as well. Like, yeah, I don't get playing him at the point.
I understand Jason Kidd did it with Giannis.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, okay. Giannis is a completely different player. Where the one thing that Cooper Flagg has over Giannis is his shooting. He's a better shooter than Giannis. That like we can agree on that.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like ball control, getting to the basket, athleticism, which Cooper is very good at, but he's not Giannis level. Like Giannis is just insane when it comes to that. So yeah, and like just doesn't have the same body length, like the entire package there. So yeah, that's where I think there's a big divide as far as having Cooper be like, you know, under the Giannis kind of formula.
Exactly. And I think this team regardless if Kyrie stays, Kyrie goes, because depending on what you get back, Kyrie could fit still in this team's timeline, but I really think you probably move on from him just because of the way the timeline of this team shifts, and you wouldn't be forced to do it now.
I don't think you're trading Kyrie when he still hasn't come back from his ACL tear. But yeah, like both of those guys in your video where you mentioned the two team, like the double timeline. Now here was the major flaw in the whole Nico Harrison like concept that he was preaching as soon as they traded for Anthony Davis is they were 8th in the West when that happened. I think even 9th. Mm-hmm. They didn't have the team infrastructure to do that. You said like, oh, the Warriors 2 timeline thing didn't work. It actually did work. In 2022, they won the NBA championship with Kuminga, Moody, Wiseman, basically having no effect on that. So that did work because they had the infrastructure in place. Dallas, the only way it was going to work was if they won last year or they won this year. And as soon as Kyrie got hurt, that wasn't happening either year. So that was the big flaw, I think, in that they had such a narrow window to win this thing and do this thing, and they weren't in place to do so. Mm-hmm. Even though they had gone to the finals the year before, like as soon as you trade Luka Doncic, you're trading your offense. And Anthony Davis wasn't going to make up for that with his defense, as great of a defender as he is. And not to mention the injury risk that comes with an Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving all the time.
Yes. With that being said, I was also going to bring up, now you gave up when you did this move with Luka. This was a team that for a while now hasn't had an actual point guard since the whole entire point. Luka was your point guard, but outside of that, they never really had a stable. And then Kyrie gets hurt, but it was just a weird thing that like they just didn't have. And when you traded for Kyrie, I just felt like having a Kyrie guy, you needed to have. Like, I felt like trading for Davis was fine because you had Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington. You had a lot of players that could, if it was a minor injury or like load management, you had enough guys who could alleviate a temporary missing of games by Davis because of the way they played. It was always abundantly clear since they had gotten Kyrie that Kyrie was the code to Luka, okay, that they worked together in tandem, and it was fine when they had Spencer Dinwiddie and Jaden Hardy being like the backups there because they always had at least Kyrie or Luka on the floor. As soon as Luka left, we always knew there was clearly a drop in ball handling when Kyrie would get off the floor, and there wasn't always a co-creator for Kyrie to run. That was always apparent. So then when you made that trade, you never addressed the Kyrie backcourt issue there was no. I know Brandon Williams had his moments, but like, it's just shot creation, not just for yourself as in terms of a player, but setting up easy looks for either. And I can say this as a whole: Kyrie's not a natural floor general either. It was Luka being the more natural floor general of the two.
I think Kyrie can be your point guard, but like you said, he's amazing. He's like one of the best modern players at playing with the jumbo initiator, as we've seen with LeBron and we've seen with Luka Doncic, even with Kevin Durant when they were healthy. Like it worked really well. But not that Kevin Durant's an initiator, but like playing with somebody who could be the main scorer, like Kyrie was fantastic at that. But yeah, like when you're trading somebody like Luka Doncic and getting Anthony Davis and Max Christie, yeah, you're not going to fill that issue. And then I think the whole Kyrie thing, getting hurt thing, like imagine if Kyrie were actually healthy this year and playing with Cooper Flagg. Like I think that would help Cooper Flagg immeasurably.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. So like that would be like, they would be at least a decent team if Kyrie Irving was healthy. But and then like let's also look at the Lakers trading Anthony Davis. They get Luka Doncic. They're probably a better team just because Luka is one of the best offensive initiators, maybe the best in the NBA. But then they had nothing inside.
Can I say one thing real quickly?
Like it was a vice versa thing. Like they had huge issues trading those guys for each other just as teams.
Dave Dufour made up a really great point on the Athletics NBA show the other day, talking about going back to the whole thing about Jason Kidd using Cooper as a point guard. And right now, if you see on the screen, their leading assisters are Brandon Williams and D'Angelo Russell.
Yes, sir.
In front of Cooper Flagg. And he was saying that they should be doing what he didn't mention Alvin Gentry, but I know Alvin Gentry was the coach when Zion Williamson was a rookie. That Zion, when he was first in the NBA, they told him to play off ball, do all the utilitarian Swiss Army knife guy, be the glue guy. Like, don't play without the ball. Learn how to play without the ball in your hands. And I really think like that's what Cooper's had the ball in his hands his whole life. So like right now, let him learn how to like impact the game without the ball, and I think
that's always what he's been great at too.
Yeah. So can I explain the trades then that I floated out to everyone? Because
I just want to say also with that point about Zion and Giannis, like as great of an athlete as Cooper Flagg is, Zion and Giannis are two of the best guys at getting to the basket and finishing in NBA history. I don't think Cooper Flagg's that same level.
Yeah.
At least at that aspect of the game.
I agree.
That's I think the big issue of having like a point Cooper versus a point Zion or a point Giannis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I put together some trades, I just thought like, who can be a guy who can give you some ball handling? Like basically in any trade that I looked, I really think the draft pick compensation is going to be a lot less than people think. At most, it's going to be what the Nets got for Kyrie Irving, and I think, or even at most what the Suns got for Kevin Durant. And I want to say that I think what they're going to be looking back for is basically a starting quality role player and a young guy, or two starting quality starter role players, and that's why, or maybe somebody with some star potential. So that's why I floated out the Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan deal, the Emmanuel Quickly with RJ Barrett, the Nikola Vucevic deal with Kobe White, which Vuce would then probably have to be expanded into a third team where you send Vuce to a contender, then they send you assets, because then it would be insane logjam to have Lively, Gafford, and Vuce all on the same roster. And then obviously LaMelo Ball and Josh Green, you bring back Josh Green, because basically I was thinking role player who doesn't need the ball in the hand, is going to be able to space the floor or be like a six-man kind of guy. That's why you had Quickly, Malik Monk, also guys who can kind of do stuff with the ball in their hand. And then you saw that pause, a little phrasing right there. I stopped myself.
Continue.
DeMar DeRozan, and then Kobe White. And I talked about the Vuce, Kobe White, you get two expiring contracts, but then you have to make decision. Obviously, Vuce being third team traded, but then Kobe White, do you want to pay the Josh Giddey salary that he wants? If not, he wants Emmanuel Quickley money, it seems. Do you want to pay Emmanuel Quickley his money? And does RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley suffice? Do you want Malik Monk? Seems fine, but is DeMar DeRozan somebody you want? And then LaMelo, is that worth the headache that's going to come in? But he probably has the most superstar potential out of those guys that I give you. And then Josh Green, I think, is the best role player who's on a decent cost control. And then, as I showed you earlier, if you look around the league, I don't think Giannis is being traded. I don't think Lowry's being traded. I don't think Trae Young is being traded. Screw Chris Middleton, screw Jeremy Grant, DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum as trades. I don't think the Heat are going to get into the Anthony Davis business. I don't think the Celtics are going to be getting into the Anthony Davis business. I don't think the Pistons are going to get in the Anthony Davis business. So when you look around, who do you imagine, and I can zoom in for you if you'd like, who do you see as, maybe I'll go back one more, who do you think someone worth going after if you had to, out of those deals? I think those deals were the most realistic teams. The Kings are the ones that would be most likely to overpay in draft pick compensation, because I think Vivek Randiyev would just be like, get my guy. The Chicago Bulls, I think personally, would be the best deal if I want cap flexibility, which we talked about. If you can clear up the books and do some salary cap gymnastics to line yourself up for free agency, we both agree that would be very, very beneficial for any team, especially this Maverick squad, to really line up for the Cooper Flag. And then if I'm really,
I think the Bulls are definitely the most realistic. Yeah,
I would say the Bulls and the Kings are the most realistic. I think the Raptors.
Is Anthony Davis going to want to go to Sacramento?
I don't think he cares. He doesn't have a no trade clause. If the Sacramento Kings said, we'll give you this and 3 first-round picks, I'm the Mavs saying, send it over, baby.
Yeah. No, okay. Like if the Mavs are doing that. But I have a feeling they're going to work with Anthony Davis in this as well. And
yeah, I agree. The Bulls, I could see the but if you're the Raptors and the Kings, if you're the Raptors, would you want to make a Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, Davis trio, which arguably would be the best team that you've had since the championship team, and it might be the only opportunity to push everything together and see what you can do with a Scotty Barnes?
Yeah, it's risky, but like Toronto doesn't get free agents.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and like I was even thinking, do you remember, like, so you're like comparing this Anthony Davis contract as a negative asset, which like it is, like, yeah, at his age, for the amount of money that he's going to be making, but you're also like, the Raptors aren't exactly trading positive assets if they're trading Quickley in RJ Barrett.
Obviously, that's why I'm bringing
and Quickley actually has an extra year past even Anthony Davis's player option.
But this is the best opportunity the Raptors would have.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It would be about Anthony Davis wanting to go to Toronto. And like Toronto has been dying for a guy.
A talent. Yeah.
Yeah. And like that's why when there was a point where you were wondering if Karl Anthony Towns' deal was tradable. I thought Toronto might be one of the teams in the running for that as well before the Knicks came in and did their trade.
So you see my incentive from Toronto side, why you
I see the incentive. I think it's going to be, again, about Anthony Davis being happy with it. And then if I were Dallas, I'm not sure I'm happy with the compensation, because Emmanuel Quickley has that extra year, and RJ Barrett and Cooper Flagg, I don't think is like a match made in heaven either. Yeah. You're not really addressing, you could say, oh, Quickley is a point guard. You're kind of addressing that. You're really not. And then you don't really have the flexibility that I would want from an Anthony Davis trade. So that's where I think from Toronto, I see the light, but from Dallas, I struggle with that a little bit.
I agree when you put it from there. I think, again, in any deal, Dallas is going to be wanting, the biggest thing that has to come from this deal is some sort of ball handler. And that's what I tried to put in each of these deals is, if I'm Dallas, I want that salary filler to probably be a ball handler. Personally, I want a ball.
It would be nice. Like, I just think Dallas needs to play either D'Lo or Brandon Williams on the court with Cooper Flagg almost at all times.
I know, but if we're talking a Davis trade, though, we have to be building it around a ball handler.
But if you're also talking to Davis trade. What I'm saying is, you should be looking towards next summer and seeing who you can get there as well. Like I would be more concerned about that than saying, oh, I addressed the ball handler. Now this is going to be my point guard for the next 4 years.
Well, it's not even okay. If you're worried about dictating the money, then you'd look at either a deal that I said earlier, the Malik Monk, or a Kobe White, where you run the Kobe.
Yeah,
White
I mean that's why I think
experiments.
the Chicago trade is a really good idea.
The problem with the Chicago trade is we both know that Chicago's not going to give up any picks. You can see the deal that they did for when they traded what's his face with the Spurs. Oh my God, I'm blanking on that. The Kevin Huerter, Zach Collins, that whole.
You think Anthony Davis is the same level of player as Kevin Huerter and Zach Collins?
No. If you historically, Chicago is very stingy with their draft picks. So what I'm getting,
they look at Anthony Davis and like.
I'm just telling you.
I'm
Dallas
thinking,
does not have leverage, so I think the draft pick. If we're,
I don't think Chicago has tons of leverage either.
Well, Chicago's leverage,
and they could get a player that like could actually win them a playoff series.
Okay, if you had to give me 3 teams, realistically, and obviously Chicago is your number one. Am I wrong on that? Chicago's your number one.
Yeah, Chicago's my number one easily right now. Yeah.
All right, Chicago being your number one.
Yeah.
What are your 2 and 3?
Have expiring contracts.
I would think Vooch and Kobe White's the most realistic package, right?
And Huerter. I think
Huerter is such an integral part of this team's success currently that I think Huerter actually is someone that they actually.
I don't know, man.
I think they would. I
think if you can get Anthony Davis, like you just do it.
I mean, I'm gonna check right now, but I believe you could.
Does Chicago think that like they're like some attractive free agent destination right now too? Like
Chicago has always been delusional. Yeah. Are you acting like Chicago's not delusional? Okay, Chicago's one of the most.
Chicago's delusional, so they won't throw in a first round pick to get Anthony Davis.
I feel like you
throw in at least one first round pick to get Anthony Davis.
Chicago is one of the most delusional franchises there's out there. They're a team that does nothing for the last 10 years and expects like a different result.
I mean, they traded Jimmy Butler for Lowry Markkanen.
That's actually like one of the few things they've actually done. Like
Zach LaVine.
They've lucked into their
trades. The one thing I'm impressed with Chicago, they're like, hey, Sacramento, take all these guys.
That's another one. The Sacramento Kings got fleeced. Also, you know what was really smart? Nobody's gonna give them credit. The Wizards somehow got rid of Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis, and Bradley Beal.
Yeah, I give them credit.
All right, just to put your 25. Oh, sorry, my apologies, not 25. The 21 of Vooch, and then it is it's like a 13. I think you're right that they would have to include.
Yeah, they need to include somebody else.
Of $10 million. So that's why I was going to bring up it could either be a Kuro or a Jalen Smith. I just don't think they would throw on the $18 million expiring of Kevin Huerter. A, I don't think Dallas would take that. But B, like, you would, if I'm Dallas.
Huh? They'd love that expiring contract. Yeah. They'd be fine with that.
Well, you could also, like, something like this is more, and if they wanted to throw in, they could throw in as, like, salary filler right here, a Dwight Powell.
Then where are their picks looking like?
Who? Chicago's picks. They have Portland's. I mean, they might toss some Portland's. I just don't think Chicago doesn't trade their picks.
Yeah, I mean, Portland lottery protected.
I mean, and a bunch of seconds.
Yeah.
Let's be like.
I feel like they at least. I still think Dallas can get a first for Anthony Davis.
I think they can get a first. It's just not going to be the prettiest.
Yeah, if it's lottery protected, like that seems fine.
Okay. You never answered the question. Outside of Chicago, who are your two teams?
Yeah, I think the Kings at least have a chance. And then like you're saying about the Raptors, like I think the Raptors would be interested. Yeah.
So if we just real quickly go the Kings to do that deal again, I think it'd be DeMar DeRozan structure because he's on the shortest deal.
Yeah.
Malik Monk, unless you think.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Chicago's my favorite by a lot.
I agree. I think it's almost it's a match
I think it's just gonna be Chicago, man.
I know, but entertaining it outside of that is just
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I'm sure there are other teams out there.
So if you
and I honestly I don't hate the Heat either.
I just don't see the Heat getting in that business.
No, I know. Like it's risky. It's very risky.
The Heat.
The other thing you said to me, and you didn't you say Anthony Davis was a loser?
Not
a winning player. Sorry, not a winning player.
Hasn't been able to win on his own. I said.
I mean, who in the frick has? There have been very few players who have. And like the thing I pointed out to you, because you've been lower on Anthony Davis since I've known you. The thing I pointed out to you is in the playoffs, he's averaging like 26 and 12 over his career. And he's been a huge factor. By the way, in the playoffs. So like if you're trading for Anthony Davis, yes, it's a giant risk. Yes, he gets hurt all the time, everything like that. But he's actually the difference between he and like a Joel Embiid.
I'd rather have Anthony Davis.
Oh no. I'm just giving the little difference there. Is Joel Embiid's never been healthy for the playoffs. Anthony Davis has been healthy for multiple playoffs and has played a monumental role in winning a few series and at least having a say in a few series. So he's like if you trade Anthony Davis to the East, like and that's where I see it even from like more from the Bulls' perspective. If you trade him to the East, like he's going to be a huge matchup problem for whoever he plays.
I agree. I'm just hard on Anthony Davis because I think he had the chance.
You had more expectation for him, let's say.
Same thing with Karl-Anthony Towns.
You thought he could be Kevin Garnett, and he didn't live up to your expectation.
I'm the same with Karl-Anthony Towns.
At the same time, yeah.
But you get what I'm saying?
The same as who?
Karl-Anthony Towns. Yeah.
I mean, Anthony Davis has clearly been a.
It's a different tier, but like Karl-Anthony Towns.
And then with Anthony Davis too, is you get one of the best defenders in the NBA and a guy who's super versatile, like can change a series on that end of the floor.
Yes.
Do you remember the year Jaren Jackson Jr. won Defensive Player of the Year and they played them in the first round? In that first game, you're like, oh man, like maybe they're done. And then he went into Anthony Davis mode and you're like, oh, this guy is a much better defensive and offensive player than that guy. Like, yeah. And they went to the conference finals.
By the way, thoughts on this Kings Mavericks trade? If like the Bulls didn't, you probably reroute Dario, but if you walked away with Devin Carter, I'm not.
I mean, you walk away with Devin Carter, like I think Devin Carter has gotten the short end of the stick in Sacramento. I think he's interesting. Like we're not in the minority there, but I don't think he's necessarily solving your point guard issues.
But if they're giving you the most draft pick compensations, let's say you're getting 2 or 3 first round picks.
If you get 2 or 3 first round picks for that, then yeah, like that.
Would you do that deal over the Chicago deal if Chicago gave you just the Portland pick and the Isaac?
I'm going to tell you why I would probably take the Chicago deal because of all the expiring contracts.
Okay.
I would probably rather
even with the Okoro having just 1 year extra. I think he has.
With Okoro having 1 year extra at $11 million,
11.
That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But if you get all the expiring deals and you get a first round pick,
the Portland,
I think I'd just be more interested in being in that free agent market, and I think they'd be a really attractive destination. So that they'd be able to at least find some people that you can, get as possible buildable pieces as well.
Yeah. I think right here, if we look,
where I'd rather have that than to have like DeMar DeRozan for an extra year. And
thankfully DeMar's 1 year
for an extra 2 years, and while Malik Monk I think would fit well in Dallas, but yeah.
Now let's pull up. I wanted to see the Toronto one. Because I actually do agree with you that I think the Bulls is the best deal for both parties, giving you cap flexibility. Plus, I would build a deal around Kobe White because I'm not going to pay him the same.
Yeah, I think like Kobe White being in it would be really attractive. Like I think he's a guy that helps right away also.
Yeah, and Dallas gets the test on it.
Think he is too much, you can just let him walk.
So the one thing I do like about the Raptors deal is I'm pretty sure it could be a 2-for-1 swap. Like it's not. It's I think okay. So
Yeah.
it's it's not that complicated of a deal because how big of salaries RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly are already making. Where I think you would it be just Ochai Abaji? You could just sweeten the deal. No, you need someone just.
No, those two together make more than Anthony Davis. They make almost 60 mil.
Yeah. So, but why is it saying we're over? Oh, bro, I'm reading this backwards. That's why. Do you see what I'm saying? I had it flipped. I thought the Mavs were the Raptors. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
So I think Dwight Powell. You'd have to have Dwight Powell Dwight Powell, or
you'd at least have another Canadian on the Raptors. You're trading Jaden Hardy too.
Well, Jaden Hardy, you'd be down. Oh wow, including Jaden Hardy, you'd be over by 78,000 only.
Yeah.
So, and they technically could throw in Max Christie or Najee Marshall or Caleb Martin.
I don't think they would throw in Max Christie.
They would do Caleb Martin instead of Jaden Hardy.
Probably.
That's the whole thing with this deal is that obviously draft pick would have to be included by the Raptors, but the idea is.
Oh yeah, I would think multiple.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
like not doing that straight up. And yeah, it like because Quickly's deal isn't a positive asset.
No, I agree. But I think in terms of simplicity, the other one, what was it? Is Dwight Powell, Anthony Davis for Okoro, White, Vooch. Then you would have to expand that deal to find someone to take on Vooch, which becomes
just be like with Ingram and Davis, man, they'd be so injury prone. Like,
oh my god,
it would be scary for the Raps. And then for the Mavericks, I don't think it makes sense, man. So yeah.
The other thing is in your head, you'd be like, oh, they should then trade Pirtle. But no, Pirtle would have to stay because Davis would want to play the 4. Then you'd be running Ingram.
But you're really locked into Quickly if you're making that deal. And I just don't think that.
I mean, you could always try to expand the deal.
But like, yeah, who would be the other team? And like, you are
the only other team.
I agree with you that they would want to get a guard. Like preferably a primary initiator to.
Would you try to dump Quickly for like a Terrence Mann?
No.
Like Terrence Mann and like Haywood Highsmith.
No, because that doesn't address.
I know you'd lose your ball handling that you'd be gaining from him. I just think like you're
locked. The ball handling you're gaining is like an albatross because he has 3 more years on his deal at $32.5 million.
This is the deal that our boy over here hates, Mr. Michael.
I do hate it. Yes. Flat out hate it. You said you. So how this all started, people, is this guy drops it in the chat going, I think that'd be a really good deal straight up. And I was like, no, it wouldn't.
It would be terrible. Just everybody walks away.
It's not. And like LaMelo is so talented, dude. And like I had LaMelo 1 in that draft. He's been like, a near all-star level player for most of his career. He gets hurt more than Anthony Davis.
What about
fewer games than Anthony Davis has over that same time? Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw that. Like, yeah, the one around Colin Sexton.
Yeah, one around. How much are you still short of? Wait, why is this not allowed? It's saying you have to remove 792,000 of.
Well, yeah, you also. I think that just gives Dallas too many players.
Yeah, I think would I take Pack off or would I take Grant? I think.
Yeah. Well, Grant's been there before, Ciro. He'll want to go back home with PJ Washington there.
He loves PJ.
Yeah.
They're best buds.
A lot of love.
There.
Okay.
What about that? LaMelo and Anthony Davis together.
I think that's what you would want if you were Charlotte. I'm not confident Anthony Davis wants to go there, so I think they'll take that into account.
If you're
And
Anthony
then-
Davis, if they told you had Sacramento or Charlotte, where are you going?
Um,
I'm going to Charlotte, baby.
Chicago.
Well, actually, let's look at it. Chicago bows out. It's Toronto, Sacramento, Charlotte. Where are we going?
I mean, I'm from Toronto, so I'm a little.
Oh
biased.
wow, you're a fucking you're a bigot. You're a bigot
No,
to
no, no, no.
everything non-Canadian.
I've only been to Charlotte once. I thought it was a beautiful city.
It's actually not that bad. It's
really
not that
like
bad.
I really liked it. Yeah. So like, I think as a city, I wouldn't hate it. And even as like, they
Charles
have
Lee's building
good
something.
young guys. They have some good young guys that I thought they did fantastic in the draft. But yeah, I still think you would need draft compensation if you were Dallas. Like that's the other key.
I mean, I think anybody who
And it could be protected, it could be top 18 protected or wherever the hell, but you still need some draft compensation there too.
All right, that's good to know. So that's going to be our little chat for Anthony Davis. And we're just going to pivot right here and just real quickly talk here. Mikey, NBA is not going to be doing any trades. I mean, there could still be a trade. They rarely happen. I think the first trade last year was Thomas Bryant going to the Pacers, like at this time of year. And those trades only happen if
And
like
the final.
But those trades typically happen because that player doesn't have some trade restriction. A lot of players till December 15th aren't trade eligible. Some are January 15th. So you start to see those trades in a month or in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
So in front of you, I have a bunch of is it Spotrac or Spot Rack? Spotrac.
Spotrac.
Okay, work. By the way,
we should just call it Spot Rack.
Spot Rack. Let me spot rack you, bro. Don't drop the bar.
Spotrac, I think.
But, yeah, you got it. Now, I don't think Giannis is getting traded. I don't think Lowry Markkanen is getting traded.
The top of that list is not looking very tradable.
I think Chris Middleton and CJ McCollum will get bought out before they get traded. I think Jeremy Grant's just the contract. Nobody's going to trade for that.
Yeah.
So I just don't see a trade that Andrew Wiggins getting traded because the Heat aren't. There's no one really that seems Heat-esque that's going to get traded. Why would they trade for John Morant when they don't run ball screens?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So same thing goes to Anthony Davis. It does not fit their play style. So we move to the rest of the guys. I actually think
Anthony Simons, I think, is a guy who I believe everybody expects to get traded.
But to who? It used to be the Orlando Magic.
I know. No. Yeah, that's.
The Magic could use him.
That's going to be the question.
Who do you, when you look?
I don't think Boston's in the John Morant sweepstakes, so yeah, that's not happening.
And I don't know. The only team that would take Vooch is the same team that we thought that was going to take him before, and it was the Warriors. And it seems like if they do that deal, it'd be like a Vooch for the cum bucket.
Okay.
Am I wrong though?
Yeah, I don't think Vooch has an insane amount of value. Right
It's just gonna be a swap for somebody.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, are you looking at the first domino to fall? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. When you look at this, who's the first domino to fall? Because let's go over to.
You have a great point in like where Simons is going to go. Yeah.
So I was gonna pull up.
I just don't know. Yeah.
The Magic still suck at moving the ball. Okay. And my only thought that they could do this
help with that much.
Jet Howard, Jonathan Isaac.
He's a great shooter. That's the thing with Anthony Simons.
Jet Howard had his team option declined. They don't care for Jet Howard. Jet Howard, Jonathan Isaac.
Does that doesn't make up salary though?
Gets you to 20.5, and he's making.
But Simons is like 28, right?
Oh 20. Shit, you're 27. Yeah. So, man.
Yeah. And then he's expiring though, correct?
Yes, he is expiring. Okay. But I believe they get if a team trades for him, they inherit their bird rights. of his. So,
but yeah, you're like the Magic aren't going to want to sign him for, a long-term deal.
I think Jonathan,
all the money they have in long-term deals right now.
Yeah, I think Isaac has clearly just not a part of that team anymore. I don't know why they extended him, but this deal I knew it wasn't going to be able to happen because of $7 million difference. So if you were to make that deal happen, you'd have to trade either Goga or Wendell, which I don't think either is going to happen. So that's a whole problem right there.
I think Orlando's out of the picture now. I know
Yeah,
that the big rumor, and like, you know, he's originally from there, I believe. But yeah.
Would you do a Kobe White and
no?
Yeah, I think Kobe White's way more valuable. I'm just trying to think of a team that has, and I don't think the Pacers are going to care to do that, and the Pacers don't really have a salary that they would be able to trade for that they could just dump. That's what I think.
It's tough. It's really tough to find one right now.
The Timberwolves might get desperate. Maybe like a Mike Conley, Dante DiVincenzo, if even.
But I just don't think you trade both of those guys. And then that doesn't even would that trade work straight up? I don't think it does. Like, I think you still would need salary.
1 second.
Yeah.
4.9. You still be off 4.9, which would require either Rob Dillingham or a combination of Leonard Miller and a young guy. So you'd have to.
And that's just not even a good value for them.
Yeah, that's not even a good value anymore. If you could have done it for those two, you might have been able to talk somebody into like.
I don't think Boston.
The Bucks. Would you do Kuz?
Oh no. No, because I don't think if you're the Celtics, you want the extra year of Kuzma.
Yeah, you don't want. You rather just take the expiring, just keep him on the roster so he expires.
Yeah.
So I think
they're just trying to get under the apron, right? Like, that was the whole reason for trading, like the second trade of Simons kind of thing. Yeah.
Would you? The Warriors kind of would benefit from having a guy like that off the bench. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I just.
And they would then get another. Let me just take off this recently signed thing.
Yeah. But then what would Boston have to give up to get Kuminga?
So a 5 point.
Because then they have an extra year of Kuminga, who I don't think fits particularly well with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And yeah, that's just not going to happen.
Is that even?
Yeah, man, I'm blanking on a place that.
Why can't this deal go through?
An Anthony Simons home right now.
Oh, you can't be traded till this deal wouldn't be able to happen until January 15th. But with something like this, Shireman and Simons for Kuminga and Hield kind of fell off this past season.
But then the Celtics would have to give extra compensation to get that deal, I think.
Well, I think the deal. Well,
and they're also, I don't think.
Well, you don't have to get compensation because what you're doing is yes, Kuminga is technically an expiring contract because it's the team option, but you're getting them off of Buddy Hield's money and you're giving them Shireman in return.
I don't think that moves the needle that much.
Well, but Buddy Hield makes $9 million for 2 more years.
No, I'm saying, like, yeah, which is like nothing.
I think Simons, you're screwed with Simons if you're the Celtics.
Yeah, like it looks like it right now. Yeah. I think that's as we're going through things, because like that's a better trade. Like the Celtics get better players, so the Celtics will have to give up something to get those players, I think.
This can happen on January 15th.
Yeah.
Would you do that if you're the Warriors?
Yes. Just to get off Kuminga.
Yeah. And if you're just getting in another expiring, I think Vooch would just be someone that now you have Draymond, TJD, Quinton Post, and Al Horford.
Like, I don't know how happy I'd be about it. Like, and it's not like a huge solve for the future, but yeah, if you're going all in for this year,
that's what I'm saying. which it feels like they are. That's kind of
Yeah.
how. And I don't. There's no other team that
It doesn't put them over the top, but yeah, nothing you're going to get from Kuminga is going to.
The only other team that I could see maybe be interested in Vooch is the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Am I wrong with that?
The Grizzlies interested in Vooch.
Where it'd be maybe like a
possibly
Brandon Clark or a Contavious Caldwell Pope deal. I think this is where you'd have to get off $1 million, so it's 1.4 over. Maybe you throw in like a.
That's kind of brutal for the Bulls.
I mean, here you go.
Because KCP still has years.
One more year. You could do a case. You could do either take both of those guys off and just do a straight up KCP swap. But I thought KCP was too much of a negative asset. I saw give you a backup center and Brandon Clark for one more year, and then you get a sweetener.
If the Warriors are the third team involved in the Anthony Davis trade and get Vooch, where are they giving up?
The cum bucket.
You think they're giving up Kuminga too? So, the Bulls get Davis and Kuminga?
No, Kuminga goes to
Dallas?
Because the one I have to, I'll pull it up right now. First off, would you do a Vooch KCP swap if you're the Grizzlies?
Yeah. Yeah. Get off his money, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like next to Jaren Jackson Jr.
And you get an expiring contract?
Yeah. But also Vooch next to Jaren Jackson Jr. works, I think.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's not great, but like, all right, let's build up this Mavericks trade just for the Bulls sense and the Warriors because
that'd be a great way to get off another.
Well, we did talk about when we were in this earlier. We did talk about if that deal were to go through. So you send Vooch here.
Yeah, so you send Vooch to the Dubs. Okay.
Kobe White goes to the Mavs. Then we had a Kuro go to the Mavs, and then the Mavs? I don't think need to set. Then I'm pretty sure.
And the Bulls and the Warriors give like a pick to the Mavs. Interesting.
The money works.
I don't love the Mavs getting Kuminga. That's the one thing. Yeah.
You think?
I mean, Cooper Flagg, Kuminga. I don't know. I don't love that pairing. But yeah.
I mean, there's another way you don't like the. I mean, you could. Where would Kuminga then go? Where would be the other destination for Kuminga to go? Well, there's actually, I actually have.
Kings, right?
I have actually. There's a
Bulls,
team
Kings, Suns. Yeah. Oh, you think Hornets? It'll be the new Miles Bridges.
Colin Sexton to the Mavs. Now you walk away with Colin Sexton and Kobe White.
This might be the best thing that we've done. Yeah.
This is actually really. Bulls walk away with two front court players. Warriors walk away with Vooch. The Mavs get themselves a sixth man and a starting point guard and a wing to a defensive.
The one thing with this is that Kuminga's started to play well, and while I'm still not a big believer in him, the money that he's going to want. That's the one downside.
We're gonna switch,
especially if your whatever team is getting Kuminga.
I'm putting the Suns back on here because we knew there was an actual Suns deal that was on the table, and it was around Royce O'Neal. So we'll go Royce O'Neal. I believe that's whose money. Okay, so they're still short 12 if they were to do this deal. Royce O'Neal. I just can't see it happening without.
Yeah.
Because now you'd have to include Grayson Allen in this deal, and then I don't think that Grayson Allen's just cooking this year.
And then that's extra years too.
Yeah, extra years.
You would trade Grayson to the Mavs?
Yeah, it would, or like to the Bulls or something. It just becomes so much more complicated. I think the Hornets are in the Mavs have worked with the Hornets front.
What with the Hornets? Yeah, like that in Sexton and Kuminga. That's pretty.
Makes sense. It makes sense, and I think the Hornets. I mean, the Hornets would be fine with that because I think they don't care that. What do you call they? they already have Miles Bridges, and they basically just platoon swap them, like two guys who can do the same thing.
Yeah,
And
it's just about paying Kuminga once
they're not going to keep Kuminga. They got off of Sexton, all right, and they probably would just do this.
Just have him in the open market. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what they can do worse.
Well, Sexton's also expiring though.
Well, but what I'm saying is, worst comes to worst. If they don't keep Kuminga,
imagine they pick up his team. It's a player option or a team option?
Team option. So
and they'll pick up his team option and they'll be pissed.
Yeah. or what they can do is, like, if they don't care to keep him, but they still want to be compensated, they just tell him, we're going to decline your team option, but we'll work with a sign trade. So you can go to a team that's over the cap.
Who wants him?
I don't know, but like, I'm just saying right here, if you're the Hornets, I mean, you could probably have one of these teams just compensate you with some second round picks to do this deal.
I guess. But if I'm the Mavs, I'm still wanting a pick.
If I'm the Warriors here, I'm trying to basically get Vooch for nothing and get off of Kuminga. Basically, I'm just trying to get like, you're just trying to squeeze this, just benefit from being the fourth team here, the benefactor. Yeah. Same thing with the Hornets. You're just trying to get some draft compensation for help facilitate this deal, while the Bulls are probably trying to get this deal done with Kobe White and Vooch and Okoro being the thing, and then you're just trying to yeah. All right, that's and then let's just look at the rest. I don't think, and then when you look at the rest of the trade market, I'm sorry guys, I just don't see anybody getting traded. I think DeMar's contract's too, like, DeMar, Kuzma, KCP, it just becomes too difficult to move on. I think Hart staying, Nurkic and Sexton, they're only getting moved if they were salary filler. Monk and Williams are both two guys, they have too many years on their deals, and it's just going to be hard to find them. Like, it's just, I don't think there's going to be as much movement as people think there are, and if it is, it's going to be very small contracts.
You have Tobias Harris on there?
Well, Spotrac, yeah.
Yeah, like Toby's somebody that could possibly be moved, but
it's such a big deal.
Pistons are playing so well right now.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said if they did move Tobias Harris, it would be with Jaden Ivey for someone better.
Yeah.
Because then that's like $34 million.
Yeah, I agree with you where, like, I just don't it'd be great if the Pistons have like an Anthony Davis. I think they just have to give up too much in order to get him.
Yeah, that's what
I thought. Also have to worry about the timeline and the extra couple years he has.
Yeah, that's basically my thoughts right there.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's basically everything we had.
Civil discussion, Sierra.
We did. So. Yeah. All right. Go check out Mikey V at all his links. Mikey, you got anything you want to shout out?
Just NBA Draft Mikey V and Michael Visenberg. Very easy to find. And thank you for having me once again, sir.
Thank you for coming on. Hope you guys have a great one. Cheers.